We have spent the past year focusing on different evidence-based practices that help increase achievement for students with significant cognitive disabilities. We will continue that during each of the alternate content standards professional learning sessions, but in between those sessions, we are going to be introducing coaching to provide job-embedded opportunities to further develop your teaching. According to Education Week, coaching improves both instructional practice and student achievement, more so than any other professional development in school-based intervention. Teachers will have 2 30-minute coaching sessions through Zoom during your school's CCRS days for quarter 2 and 4. As the chart shows, during this alternate content standards professional learning, we are providing you with an overview of coaching, which will start in quarter 2 of the 2020-2021 school year. During our fall alternate content standards professional learning, we will take time to prepare for the first coaching session by sharing a completed applied practice that you created during one of our sessions that matches an area you have identified as challenging. That will help us to ensure that the coach is able to review the documents prior to the session to ensure meaningful collaboration and next steps. Then, during your quarter 2 and 4 CCRS days, you will review student data and DeFore's 4 questions to prepare you for your 30-minute coaching session. If you are not familiar with Richard DeFore, he was an educator dedicated to a goal like ours, increasing student achievement. He identified 4 critical questions to help guide us as we work towards that goal. This graphic has the 4 questions on the outside, with the center focus area being to increase student achievement on the inside. As you reflect on these 4 questions, consider your goal-setting template and the ones that you indicated your performance level to be beginner, emerging, or proficient. I identified a challenge area for me by reviewing student data, the goal-setting templates from the ICM, and the applied practices that I created during year 1 of the alternate content standards professional learning. All 3 of those artifacts will also be used in coaching sessions to help answer DeFore's questions. Let's look at each question to see how the coaching activities align to each question. The first of DeFore's question is, what do we need each student to learn? To answer this, we need to review each student's data and determine what skills have been mastered and not. To prepare for our coaching session, be sure you are collecting student data that will assist us in answering this very critical question. For example, I have selected prompt fading as a challenge to discuss during my coaching session as I continue to not reduce prompts to promote student independence. Providing too much prompt support causes me not to be able to see what skills students are able to do and not. The second of DeFore's questions is how will we know when each student has learned it? I reviewed the systematic instruction plan that I created in my applied practice during the winter alternate content standards professional learning. I set my criteria to fade my prompts, but I've never really implemented it in my classroom. If I would set up a simple data collection sheet that all staff can use, I would be able to see when a student has reached mastery with the criteria of 3 days with 80% accuracy without any prompts. During our coaching sessions, we will talk about either question 3, what will we do when a student experiences difficulty, or question 4, what will we do if a student has already learned it? Let's start with question 3, what will we do when a student experiences difficulty? I reviewed my goal-setting template for explicit instruction because I remember identifying my current performance level as emerging, and to move to proficient, I created a goal for data collection and fading prompts. I can ask myself, have I been collecting data? Have I been using the chart with fidelity? Have I established a criteria for changing prompt levels and taught them to all staff so we're consistent? Have I taken the time to analyze student errors to make decisions about next steps? Am I using the best high-leverage practice and evidence-based practice pair? All these questions will help drive our next steps. If your student has already learned this skill, then we will focus on question 4 during your session. Like with all questions, you will see that it starts with analyzing the data to decide our next steps in increasing student achievement. So I asked myself, does the data show that the student has demonstrated mastery on consecutive trials independently? Has the student demonstrated mastery when generalization was used? If the student has mastered it independently, we will circle back to the what do we need each student to learn and start the process over. Before we move on, we are going to do a quick check for understanding. The first question is, coaching will begin in quarter 1. Yes or no? You are correct. Coaching session will start in quarter 2, so the answer is no. Number 2. I will need to review student data before my coaching session to help answer what do we need each student to learn? Yes or no? The answer is yes, but we really need to look at student data to answer all of these questions. The goal-setting template will help answer what will we do when a student experiences difficulty? Yes or no? No, the goal-setting template will absolutely help answer what will we do when a student experiences difficulty. You're doing great. Finally, the last question. I should start collecting student data the week before my coaching session. No, no, no. You should start collecting student data on the first day of school. Nice job answering those questions. As we get set to start a new school year, begin to think about what topic you would want to focus on for your coaching session. You will see that many concepts covered this year are woven into 4 topics that we have identified for next school year that you see on my screen. After you thought about a topic that might be beneficial to you during the first coaching session, scroll down to move to 3.2 Learning Activity Number 3.